Live, raw, uncut, and uncensored. It's just for clicks. Featuring your host, Michael Buckeister.
And what is up, guys? I am Michael Buckeister. This is Just for Clicks, raw, uncut sports talk with my co-host over here, Mike LeBlanc. Mike, how are you doing this afternoon, man?
I'm doing fan-fucking-tastic this afternoon.
It's been a pretty amazing day here in Southern Indiana, where I'm from. I don't know where the weather's at, where you are by any
Is
means.
there ever a good day in Indiana? I mean, God bless Texas. So.
With his own hands, right? God bless Texas with his hands.
Yeah.
But I went to work this morning. It was 82 degrees or something, 81 degrees. I come home, it's 47. I'm like, what in the hell is going on? Isn't that ridiculous?
That is ridiculous.
But I was on the old interwebs, on the old Twitter machine, and I ran across a story from your neck of the woods, Dallas, Texas. As you know, we've been kind of talking COVID-19 for the last week or so.
I cannot wait to get into this story. I cannot wait. I know exactly where you're going. I cannot wait.
I have to bring it up. A woman in Dallas, Texas she is going to jail for 7 days for not shutting down her salon during the whole COVID-19 thing. First things first, how can you make me close down my shop if I'm following all the CDC guidelines? I'm wearing a freaking mask. I only have 2 people in my salon, me and I'm cutting the person's hair. How can they do this?
They're tyrants.
I liked the movie.
That's why. They're fucking tyrants. And you know what? It took a Texan to stand up to these tyrants and show everybody across the country. Once again, Texas leads by example. If we can do it, you know what? They can't arrest us all.
Well, my biggest problem about this whole situation is one that I know here in the Kentucky, Indiana area, they were letting people out of jail early, if they had less than 8 months on their sentence left in jail, because they didn't want to spread COVID-19 and all this crap. But they're sending this woman to jail for 7 days that's been obviously interacting with people. Could have.
Now you're going to send her to jail.
It is.
You're letting people out of jail, but you're going to send this woman whose kids are hungry.
Right. And she's obviously been around people.
Yeah. I mean, this is her livelihood, right? This goes back to what we were talking about last night. These are people's livelihoods. This is how they earn a living. This is how they feed their family. This is how they take care of their family. Right? And you're going to send her to jail. And did you see her quote when she was talking to the judge? Because the judge called her selfish. How dare you? How dare that judge to call her selfish, to go out there and instead of going out stealing, robbing, or anything like that, nope, I'm going to make my money the honest way, and I'm going to do this to feed my family, her kids. You know what? Shame on that judge. Shame on that judge.
Shame on the judge, but obviously, I feel like the judge has to follow orders from the president or the governor or whoever else. So I got to know who your Texas governor is.
They don't, because it's these judges who rule which is right and which is wrong.
True.
Even when it comes to a governor, right? So let's say you're the governor, Mike, and I say, you know what? You say that these Florida hats, that little Florida hat that you have on, is to be worn by everybody in my county. You know what? Well, I'm gonna file with the court, and I'm gonna go against you, right? But you're the governor, and the judge can rule against you in favor of me, right? So that judge could have used a little bit more humanity and gave her a slap on the wrist or whatever. You don't have to send this woman to jail for 7 days. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Shame
well-
on that judge.
well,
He should resign and step down.
I mean, in theory, if we're going by the policies set by the governor, if you have less than 8 months on your sentence, she should be released from jail early, anyways, right? So she should check in and then check back out, right?
Yeah, she should just walk in and walk right back out.
But
Yeah.
let's go ahead and get into some sports topics here.
I
Trey
just
Young-
wanted to say before we go into this first one, Texas leads by example. She's a true patriot.
she's a true patriot, sitting behind the bars, getting 3 hots and a cot, I guess, right?
Hey,
Speaking of 3 hots and a cot, somehow that equals 13, right? Well,
somehow, yeah.
for those of you that have been living underneath a rock, Tua was number 13 in college. I'm not even going to try to say his last name or his full name, actually. So Tua it is from me from here. Well, you say what you want, but here on the Buck side of things, it's going to be Tua. But Tua came out earlier and said, I want number 13. But sorry, Tua, number 13 is retired by the Miami Dolphins. So ultimately, he is going to go with number 1. It has been released. His jersey's been released and whatnot. It is for sale now on the Miami Dolphins website, I like as well. So the reason why we're bringing this up at all is because I want to ask you, Mike, should numbers be retired in the NFL for 1? And for 2, how long should they be retired for? Can they like repurpose them 20 years after the fact?
I think it kind of depends on the situation, right? Because everybody knows I'm a diehard Cowboys fan, so that's what I'm going to jump to. Let's look at Emmitt Smith, right? I don't think the number 22 should ever be worn. Again, I don't even think the number 22 should be worn by anybody in the NFL, period. You're talking about the best running back of all time, hands down.
I'm going to let you finish your spiel. Are you finished?
No, I mean, and then you have number 88, right? Drew Pearson was the first one to wear number 88. And then after that came Michael Irvin. And then after Michael Irvin, Des Bryant. And now we have CeeDee Lamb, who's going to wear number 88. When it comes to that number 88, and when it comes to that number, I really think that you should be able to wear those numbers because they were good players. Michael Irvin was he's a Hall of Famer. Des Bryant was great. He's not a Hall of Famer. CeeDee Lamb, to be determined. But when you look at Emmitt Smith, the number 22, or you look at Dan Marino, these are players that transcended the game, right? Michael Irvin didn't transcend he didn't transcend the wide receiver position. He didn't. You know what I mean? But Emmitt Smith did. Dan Marino did.
Let me go ahead and stop you. Because first things first, you are saying Emmitt Smith is the greatest running back ever. That is a myth. The best running back ever.
It is not a myth. It is not a myth.
The only reason why he holds records is because he played longer than Barry Sanders. If Barry Sanders played 3 more years, his records would have been untouchable, period. By going off your
Emmitt Smith's rushing record? No.
The only reason why Emmitt Smith has the most rushing yards in a career is because
the Dallas Cowboy line.
What do you say?
The Dallas Cowboy line, right? That's what you're saying.
No, I'm saying because the Cowboys kept feeding him that ball. What he broke the record versus the Arizona Cardinals is that correct? It is like that time when
he broke the record as a Cowboy.
Well, but versus the Arizona Cardinals.
Yes, versus with a broken shoulder, mind you, dislocated shoulder.
Oh, well, I mean, so therefore the Arizona Cardinals let him have that record. Let's be totally honest about that. They let him have that record, just like when Brett Favre fell down for Michael Strahan, I believe it was, to get that sack record in that year as well. So you can throw out all those numbers. Look at your eyes. Do the eye test. Barry Sanders was a better running back than Emmitt Smith. Period. Point blank. If Barry Sanders would have played more than I think he played 8 years, maybe 7, 8, like 8 years, retired way too early.
I believe he played. I believe he played 9 years.
9 years. Okay, so let's say he plays 4 more years. Okay, that is old for a running back, but 4 more years. Emmitt Smith never touches any of his records. Period.
No.
Period.
Yeah, no, bro. No.
Okay. We're going to
Emmitt Smith, hands
agree
down,
on that point.
best running back in history. No arguments. It is.
Makes him the best running back. Is it the numbers that make him the best running back?
No, I mean, he was clutch. When you needed Emmitt Smith to perform,
He was clutch. Yeah, I'll give him that. But could Emmitt Smith put the Dallas Cowboys on his back the way Barry Sanders put his team on his back?
Emmitt Smith did.
They had Troy Aikman, Michael
Come on,
Irvin.
Troy Aikman. I don't even believe Troy Aikman is a Hall of Famer.
Ooh, that's a bold statement there.
Put that out there. I don't believe Troy Aikman is a Hall of Famer. I think the people around him made Troy Aikman a Hall of Famer. I compare Troy Aikman to Dak Prescott. Let's be honest.
I could agree with that. Troy Aikman happened to fall into a great situation in Dallas.
Yes.
If you look at his first year, I think I don't know the numbers by any means, but I think he won like 2 or 3 games his first year. He didn't have Michael Irvin.
He didn't have Emmett or Michael.
Yeah,
and
so
then they
he was
went and
obviously a
got
rookie
Michael.
as well. So, but
Yeah, they went and got Michael, and then once they got Michael, they started winning a little bit, and then that was when we traded Herschel Walker for all of those draft picks, and we got Emmett. And then Grissom was born, or the trio was born.
So let's go ahead and get back to the topic here a tad bit. The reason why Tua could not get number 13 was because the Miami Dolphins retired number 13. I do like the retired numbers here, but Jameson here in the chat says that numbers should never be permanently retired. Teams should be very picky and be sure they should be retired but not permanently gone forever. I totally disagree with that, because when you think of number 13 with the Miami Dolphins, you think of Dan Marino. You think
that is automatically who comes to mind. When you think of the Miami Dolphins, first player that comes to mind is Dan Marino.
Yeah, number 13. When you think of number 4 from the Green Bay Packers, who do you think of? Brett Favre. Right? When you think of, let's throw out another number. I'm going to give you a team, and you give me a number, or I'll give you a team and give you a number, and we'll think if we're on the same wavelength here. Number 8, Dallas Cowboys. Who comes to mind there? Troy Aikman. Exactly. Let's say number 21.
9, San Francisco. Number 9, San Francisco.
Number 9, San Francisco? I don't know. I'm thinking number 8 is Steve Young.
I thought Young was number 9. No, you're right. Number 8.
Yeah.
Steve Young.
Yeah. So I mean, like, and then like number 16. If I just throw you out the number 16, who do you think of?
I don't. Nothing comes to mind for 16.
I want to say Joe Montana. So
yeah.
So let me bring up the Emmitt Smith statement that you made earlier, that number 22 should be permanently retired from the NFL. There are several other numbers that could be permanently retired from the NFL. One would be 21. Well, 21's tough because I can think of 2 great number 21s just on the Dallas Cowboys alone. You have Deion Sanders and you have Zeke. So that's kind of tough. But
I think when Zeke came in the league and he wore number 21, I thought that was kind of I really thought that was disrespectful to Deion. I don't think Zeke should have been number 21.
See, the problem with retiring a number specifically in the NFL across the board is that the NFL is built to where, linemen can only have numbers between, 60 and 79. Receivers can only have numbers from 1 to 19 and then 80 to 89 or something just like that. So it is really hard to retire a number across the whole board. Like baseball, for example, they retired the number 42 because of such the groundbreaking work that he did and whatnot. So
that's why I say, like, you shouldn't that numbers should be for people that transcend the game, right? Iconic players. And I know there's a ton of iconic players in the game, right? But I'm talking about like iconic players. Like if you ask a 14 or 15-year-old, hey, do you know who Emmitt Smith is? They know exactly who Emmitt Smith is. But if you ask a 14, 15-year-old, hey, do you remember Boomer Esiason? I don't know who that is.
Right. That's the only number 9 I remember besides Tony. So
Yeah.
But
I mean, we're old school. We watched that era. You know what I mean? But kids these days, they didn't even watch that. They weren't around in that era, but they know exactly who Emmitt Smith is.
all right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one.
Cooper Rush to the G-Men. Cooper Rush follows Sir Claps-a-Lot. Mr. Clapper. Hey, I don't think a lot of people are really realizing what that meant. So Jason Garrett was really high on Cooper Rush when he was with the Cowboys.
Right.
And for him to follow him, I mean, Landry Jones, we saw what he did last year. I think Landry Jones is a backup quarterback at best. I don't know if I mean, you're a closet Cowboys fan, so you've seen Cooper Rush play in the preseason. The man's got a cannon.
I saw him in college. I was really impressed by his college game when because his draft class was when I really started to watch the draft, kind of make my own little mock draft and stuff. And I had him rated really high as a quarterback. It was like 3 or 4, I think, like off the board as far as quarterbacks goes. So I'm 100%. I was 100% sold on Cooper Rush, but I don't think he had time to develop in Dallas, to be honest.
No, I don't think he did either, because we got Cooper Rush when we had Tony Romo, and then here comes Dak Prescott, and Dak Prescott took over for an injured Tony Romo, and they didn't give Cooper Rush a chance.
Yeah, just like Rosen, or just like Miami's not giving a shot for Rosen.
Yeah, I think Cooper Rush could have been a franchise quarterback with the Cowboys if they just would have developed him a little more. And I think Jason Garrett sees that, and that's why Cooper Rush went to the Giants, because I think they're going to develop him if Landry Jones doesn't pan out, which I don't think Landry Jones is going to pan out. I don't think Landry Jones should have been drafted that high in the first place. And the only reason why he was drafted so high was because he was working out with the Mannings.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, the Manning name does carry still a lot of weight. You know, there are 3 generations or 3 Mannings that played in the NFL, and every report that I've seen saying that Cooper, the oldest brother, was better than Peyton and Eli, but he got hurt in high school or college with something about his neck. So the Manning name definitely still carries a lot of a lot of weight. So I don't fault them for drafting Landry so high, because he did have a pretty good college career. Let's be honest. I mean, but some people in the NFL just don't pan out. They're not cut out to work that hard. They're not cut out to be, this is your job. Let's look at Ryan Leaf, all the talent in the world, the worst NFL quarterback ever, right?
Yeah.
So the one thing that I wanted to bring up is, why are the Giants taking all the Cowboys' sloppy seconds? Why are they consistently getting Jason Garrett? You know, they got Cooper Rush. I think they got somebody else. The name slipped out of my mind, but pretty much the whole Dallas coaching staff went to the New York Giants. Why is the New York Giants so fascinated with the Dallas Cowboys' sloppy seconds? Why do they consistently want to fail?
They're on that Dallas D. That's fine. Yeah, correctly, my bad, Jameson. Daniel Jones, not Landry Jones. Yeah, I mean,
well, even Landry Jones isn't going to cut it out in the NFL. He is a backup for
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Pittsburgh, or was. I don't know if he still is or not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nonetheless, Cooper Rush does go to the G-men, and
Do you
Man.
think Cooper Rush starts?
no.
No. You don't
Daniel
think so?
Jones. There's a reason why the Giants did not draft a quarterback. They drafted linemen and help around Daniel Jones because he's their franchise.
I'd like to see Cooper Rush start. I think Cooper Rush was given a raw deal in Dallas.
Well, I don't think the only way he starts in New York is as a injury. If Jones gets hurt for a few games, Cooper Rush can step in there. But let's think about this. Where do you think Cooper Rush could start in the NFL?
I think he could start for the Rams.
He's better than Jared Goff.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Take that back. He could start for. He start for the Dolphins. The Bengals. I think Cooper Rush has a. I think Cooper Rush has a better football IQ than what's his dumbass for the Browns. What is his name?
Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield.
Or they also picked up Case Keenum, wasn't it? That they got in the offseason as well. So let me troll you here a little bit, Mike. Okay?
I know you are.
You forgot the Bengals have Joe Burrow. Do you remember what you said about Joe Burrow?
That's right. I
He's
forgot
going to be
about
better
that.
than Patrick Mahomes in 2
Man,
years.
I gotta stop drinking.
So are you saying Cooper Rush is going to be the greatest quarterback in the NFL?
No, I am not saying that.
That is what you're saying.
No. I need to stop drinking. Joe Burrow, yes, in 2 or 3 years, I still stand by my word. Joe Burrow will be number one quarterback.
Rush isn't going to start in Cincy. You are saying that Cooper Rush is better than Jared Goff.
I think he could start in Miami.
So you're saying he's better than Tua and Rosen?
Yeah, I think so. He's when it comes to Rosen and it comes to Tua, he's a veteran. You know what I mean? He's even though he doesn't have those game snaps, he's been around the league long enough where, he's a veteran. I think he could start in Miami.
People do not realize how hard it is to stay in the NFL. Yes, you might be a career backup quarterback. Look at Blaine Gabbert. He has been a career backup quarterback, but he's entering his 10th season in the NFL or something just like that.
Well, I mean, look at Josh McGowan. He's been a backup forever.
I mean, he was a high school coach or something just like that, and he went to the NFL. No, damn it! Who is who did the Chiefs have play quarterback with them when Patrick Mahomes went down for those 3 weeks?
Oh,
Shoot,
I don't know. That's your team. How do you know that?
Name just went. But regardless, it is hard to be in the NFL. I don't care if you are a habitual backup quarterback, backup running back, a backup kicker. You can be a backup holder. You are still one of the best, say, 64 players in the world because you are on an NFL roster. So, I mean, I'd still think Cooper Rush does have talent. I don't think he starts in Miami because, as I think Tua is not going to be up on the tier astronaut that people think he is going to be, I think he will be a good quarterback for Miami when he does get the chance to start. But looking around the league right now, looking at the roster, Cooper Rush could only start maybe in LA Chargers. He could probably start in Las Vegas over
with the Raiders.
I think he's better than Kyler Murray as well. I'm not sold on Kyler Murray yet. I think he was a flash
I'm
in
not
the pan.
either. I don't think. Yeah, I think he was a flash in the pan, like Dak Prescott was his rookie season. Right. And then I think this season we start to see a decline, right? Because with quarterbacks like that coming into the league that are mobile and everything like that, there's not enough game film on them, right? Sure, you have game film on them from college. But we're talking about college when you're playing like. I mean, think about it. He played in Oklahoma, so he's not playing very good teams.
Are you saying the Big 12's weak?
Yes.
The Big 12.
The Big 12 is weak.
We are going to scratch the script here. Big 12 is the toughest conference from top to bottom. You can take the SEC.
Crazy. The SEC is the toughest
Pac-10,
conference.
Big 10, or sorry, Pac-12, whatever. It doesn't matter. If you give me the number one team from the Big 12, number one team from the SEC, the SEC may win that one overall game, but 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, give me the Big 12 every time.
Bro,
I will take my
think about this. The SEC. You're forgetting the SEC. You're Alabama.
Okay.
LSU.
No, first of all, let's go ahead and just rank these teams. You say Alabama's number one. I think Oklahoma this year beats Alabama if they were to play.
Who's going to be their quarterback?
It doesn't matter. That is quarterback you right now.
I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that.
I will give you LSU. Okay, no, let's not worry about this year. Let's worry about the 2019 season.
Yeah.
I will give you LSU. Yes, LSU was by far the best team in college football, hands down. That's the reason why they won the national championship, and Joe Burrow was the number one overall pick. Hands down, they're the best. Anybody in the Big 12 that could possibly give them a run was Oklahoma, and I don't think they would have really gave them a run, to be totally honest.
Texas gave them a run for their money in the early season.
Well, that was also early season when Joe Burrow didn't become Joe effing Burrow, so you kind of get that swagger. But look at the number 2. Georgia was probably number 2. Oklahoma beats Georgia. Number 3, let's say they were Alabama. Texas beats Alabama. Number 4.
No, come on, man. I'm a diehard Texas fan. Obviously,
Sorry.
Texas doesn't beat Alabama.
Texas does beat Alabama
No.
because Texas is battle tested, because from the Big 12 top to bottom, you can take the what was TCU's record, 2-9 or whatever they were. They can beat half of the SEC. They could have beat my Kentucky Wildcats. They would have beat Vanderbilt. They would have beat Tennessee. They would have beat who bottom half of the SEC, the worst team in the Big 12 would have beat them.
Oh man, I don't know about that, man.
Kansas State, wow.
You got LSU. LSU. Florida.
I'm not talking about the top half. I'm talking about the bottom half. So the SEC has what, 14 teams? The 7 bottom half teams, the worst team in the Big 12 could be every one of those teams.
So you're saying Kansas State probably one of the worst teams in the Big 12. So you're saying that Kansas State could beat Arkansas?
Yes.
No.
Kansas State could probably beat the 6 through down teams in the SEC. The Kansas State Wildcats could have beat every team in the Big 10 except for Ohio State.
Oh, I don't know about that, man. You're telling me Kansas State. Let's go to the bottom 6 of the top 10. So Kansas couldn't beat Baylor. They couldn't beat Wisconsin. They couldn't beat Florida. They couldn't beat Penn State.
Kansas is not a part of the Big 12. Kansas
I'm just going off the top 10. I'm going off top 10 overall.
I'm just saying Kansas is the worst football program in college football, period.
Yeah.
They don't deserve to be in a conference. They need to be in the independent with Notre Dame.
I'd like to see the Big 12 disbanded, honestly, and I'd like Texas to go to the SEC so we can start playing with the big boys.
You know what? I kind of agree with that a little bit because of because what was it, 2006 when the Big 12 went to the Big 9 or whatever, when Nebraska, Colorado, Missouri, and Texas A&M all left. When they only brought in one team or two teams, TCU and West Virginia, I was very upset with the Big 12 because they had teams like Cincinnati, UCF, Boise State, Louisville wanted in, and I think they had talked with Notre Dame as well. If they would have brought those 5 teams in, Big 12 may have been the best conference in all of football. I mean, Notre Dame probably wouldn't have come in because they like their TV deal and whatnot, and that was ultimately the ultimate reason why.
A lot of teams don't want to come into the Big 12 because, let's be honest, Oklahoma may be better right now than Texas, right? And they've been better than Texas for the past 4 or 5 years. But Texas makes the most money. Texas owns the Big 12.
Because of the Longhorn Network. If they didn't have the Longhorn Network, they may have jumped ship and joined the Pac-12 with Colorado, because I mean, what it was them and Oklahoma were really leaning toward the Pac-12. But let's
I'd like to see the conferences be done away with, and we do something like the NFL, like the AFC and the NFC, and then East, West, North, and South. And then I'd like to see a playoff like the NFL in college football. That way we can really see.
So the only problem that I have with that is there's 132 teams in Division
Yeah, but
One.
you take the power conferences, the Pac-12, the Big 12, the Big 10, the SEC. You take those conferences and you divide them up like the AFC and the NFC.
Okay, so what about Notre Dame? Do you throw them with the Power 5 conference? What about Boise State that is consistently in the top 25? And
I don't, maybe.
How about somebody like UCF that is self-proclaimed national championship twice now since we may not have a 2020 NFL?
Yeah, but I mean, who do they play then at that point?
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know.
They don't play nobody. That's great that you went undefeated, but do you play a number 1 through 10 team during the season so you can get that ranking?
I think that particular year they beat Florida or Florida State, or was it Miami? They beat one of the major Florida schools, so that was
right. I mean, but you play one ranked team in your season. You can't say you're self-proclaimed national championship and you beat one top 10 school.
But at the same time, how do you not let an undefeated team into the playoffs? I like as well.
And no, I agree with that. That's why you go to. I think that's why you go to an NFL style playoff system.
So I kind of like what you're going with that a little bit, but how we have Division 1, Division 1A, and Division 2, Division 3, I think you would have to split those up in divisions even more, because there are 132 Division 1 schools. You split that in half, say 60-60 on like each side for make my math easy, and with those you put 10 teams. There's eight conferences in the NFL. Yeah, so let's say 80. So you put those 10 teams in 8 different divisions, sort it by region, because I hate the fact that West Virginia travels to Kansas or travels to Texas to play in the same conference. I think that's stupid and asinine, especially when they don't even have a major airport. They have to fly to like Pittsburgh and then take a 3-hour bus ride to BFE. So, but I digress on that. So, you take the top 80 teams. I don't care if they're in the Power 5 conferences or not. Just the top 80 teams. Split those into divisions, and then you do the playoffs just like the NFL. But instead of the 14 teams that the NFL will have next year, make it into a 16-team playoff. I think that would be sufficient.
Yeah,
two from
for sure.
Basically 2 from each division there. So since we are on top, go ahead.
But before we keep moving on, we gotta take our break for our sponsors.
We do gotta take a break. Mike, you are on top of things. So guys, we're gonna take a short little break here. Join us back here in just 1 minute. All right, guys, and welcome back to Just for Clicks. I am Michael Buckheister with my co-host here, Mike LeBlanc. Am I saying that right? You're muted, Mike.
Everybody messes up my last name. It's really pronounced LeBlanc, but everybody says LeBlanc, LeBlanc, LeBlanche. I don't even know why they say LeBlanche. There's no fucking H at the end of my name. But yeah, for the record, it's LeBlanc. That's it.
LeBlanc. There you go. Mike LeBlanc. Yep. My co-host, Mike LeBlanc. So before the break, guys, we were talking some college football, and we kind of got off on a little tangent and whatnot, and how we would restructure the playoffs and like all that stuff. And UCF is still not national champions. Sorry, they're Scarlet Knights or whatever their nickname is. But
you never know where we're gonna go when we just start talking.
But since we are on the topic of college football, with the whole COVID-19 thing happening here, colleges may not open at the start of the college football season. Penn State, the Nittany Lions, have come out and said, we are playing football no matter what. We don't care if there's 15 teams in the Big Ten or 5 teams in the Big Ten. NCAA should start the season. And they say, quote, if NCAA does not want to play football, us Power 5 conferences should just make our own league. Yep. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree. I 100% agree. You got to understand, man. People all around our country, hell, all around the world, football just unites people all around the world. And no matter what the fuck is going on right now, that's what we need right now. We need something to take our minds off of this coronavirus shit. Like, I'm so, like, even with Penn State, right? The NFL came out today saying that they're releasing plans to open up the facilities. But we need football. We need it as Americans. I 100% stand behind what Penn State says. Fine, we don't fucking need you, but we're going to play football whether you like it or not.
And I like where you're going with that, and I agree with that 100%. I'm not going to try to dispute that whatsoever. This is another reason why we need football, financial purposes. Do you guys realize that NCAA football, yes, we only play 11 or 12 games in a regular season. There's only 6 home games per each school every year. But those 6 games single-handedly fund every other sport that a college could possibly have. And think about this. There are some major Division I colleges right now. Marshall comes to mind right now, right in my backyard. They said if they do not have football this season, they will lose football for the upcoming 2021 season. So probably scratching that whole program period. And when they lose football, they're going to lose soccer. They're going to lose baseball. They might even lose their basketball team because football funds that much of the school. And then I see people saying in the YouTube comments here, guys, if you are not following or subscribing us on the YouTube channel, you definitely should go ahead and search for Just for Clicks, like on there, hit that subscribe button, share that with a couple friends. But you cannot just scratch girls sports. Yes, girls sports do make the least amount of money, and they're usually operating in the black because they're losing money and whatnot. The reason why you can just not scratch girls sports is because of the Title IX. The Title IX states that you have to give equal scholarship opportunities for boys and girls. So basically what that means in a nutshell, if I offer men's sports 50 scholarships, I have to offer female sports 50 scholarships. And if you just nix girls girls sports, there goes their scholarships. Therefore, there goes the football scholarships. If you aren't offering scholarships to these young high school kids, my Floyd Central Highlanders there, we have many D1 prospects this year. If you're not offering those kids scholarships, they're going to go to other schools. They're going to go to Indiana.
Exactly.
So therefore, see you later, football, because you guys are suck. You guys are like the Kansas Jayhawks in the Big 12. Horrible.
Man, I commend Penn State for what they're doing, and I think all colleges around the country should follow suit. You know what? First of all, First of all, I think the NCAA needs to go away.
I agree with you 100%. What are they there for?
There needs
To
to be
regulate us?
another. Yeah, there needs to be another oversight body of college football than the NCAA. These motherfuckers make millions and billions and yeah, they make billions of dollars off these kids. And you know what? They don't want to pay these kids nothing. But you know what? You got people like Joe Burrow. You know, those stands at LSU in Death Valley filled because of Joe Burrow. Why can't he get paid for that?
Well, supposedly now they can.
Now, yeah, but they're not getting paid what they should. Sam Ellinger for Texas. I go to the games. I go to the UT games, and you know why I go? Two players that I want to go watch. I want to go watch Sam Ellinger, and three. Take it back. 3 last season. Sam Ellinger, Colin Johnson, and Devin Duvernay. I want to go watch those players.
And Elliott is number 11, right?
Yeah.
So
Ellinger is number 11.
when you buy a number 11 jersey at the Texas team store, the name's not on the back, no, but you are buying that number 11 jersey because of Ellington, not because
of his likeness,
not because of the fourth string kicker that's wearing number 11, because that Ellington is wearing the number 11.
Exactly. It doesn't matter. Like when you know Alabama with Tua. Those stands filled because of Tua,
right?
And Oklahoma, CeeDee Lamb. Like, come on, man, start paying these kids what they should be getting paid.
Do you want to know how to fix this problem in college football or college sports in general with the NCAA? Yes, you are quote now able to profit off your likeness on a YouTube channel or Facebook page or whatever. Okay, so they're going to make a couple $100 a month. Awesome. No, this is how we fix this problem in the NCAA. Did you see what the NBA has done with the G League? They're giving those kids $500,000 to come play at the G League to boost the economy or the income of the NBA by giving these 18-year-old kids a chance to make $500,000. This is what the XFL needs to do. They need to link up with the NFL. Vince McMahon and Roger Goodell both need to swallow their prides. They need to get a G League or a minor league system, aka the XFL. You no longer have to spend 3 years in college risking injury, popping out your hip, what like Tua did, or his ankle. You get paid, hook 'em horns at a kid. You get paid going in the XFL. You know, pay them $200,000 for three years. XFL will blow up. NCAA will take another bigger hit because the NCAA football, the biggest moneymaker across the board, even without the college football playoff money that they don't get because somebody else owns it. I mean,
well, you know, I kind of agree with that. I mean, I kind of like that, honestly. Like, okay, go to the XFL, get paid $200,000, develop, and then go to the NFL.
Right.
I kind of like that.
I mean, because like
now you're not drafting like Tua, right? He's going to Miami, and they're looking for him to be their savior.
Right.
He's not going to be their savior in year one. He's not.
Well, we don't even know if Tua's healthy because he dislocated his hip or something like that, right?
Well, not only that. Let's take Joe Burrow, right?
One good year.
Joe Burrow, in my opinion, Joe Burrow is ready for the NFL. Could he use another year or two in a pro-style offense? Yeah, of course. Yeah. And then he comes into the NFL, and then he's just a baller. You know what I mean? I like that, a development league.
People draft quarterbacks to, quote, change their franchise. Miami Dolphins drafted Tua to change their franchise. The Cincinnati Bengals drafted Joe Burrow to change their franchise. Think about this. If these two players, just these two players alone, spent 3 years in the XFL behind other pro athletes, learning a pro offense, learning how to be a professional, getting paid while you do it, these kids would be saviors for these team.
Yeah,
Boom, just like that, 100%.
exactly. No, yeah, I agree.
So
I
let's
agree.
go ahead and shift gears a little bit. We got about 15 minutes left on the show here. The other day, before pre-show here, you made a statement wearing your Ezekiel Elliott jersey that Zeke was the best running back in the league.
Yes.
And you asked me,
Yes.
who was better than Zeke?
Ooh. And
Who
you
was
said
better than
Todd
Zeke?
Gurley. What's wrong with you? What the
Todd
fuck?
Gurley is one.
Who
And then
else?
I've had time to sit back and think about this while I was making that statement. I can name 4 running backs better than Zeke right now on May 6, 2020 at 10:08 p.m. East Coast time. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Todd Gurley is number 1.
Wrong.
Saquon Barkley is number 2.
Wrong.
What?
Wrong.
How about this? Ready? Are you ready for this one?
I can't wait to hear it.
I would take Frank Gore over Zeke right now.
Max, my co-host on this show, he smokes crack.
How about this? I would take.
Frank Gore.
I
You
would
would
take.
take. Oh no! Hold on! Before you go to the next one, you would really take Frank Gore over Zeke.
3 yards in, yeah.
Yeah.
How about
Okay.
this? Okay, Frank Gore was a reach. I was just trying to troll you like a little bit. Carolina Panthers, Christian McCaffrey.
No. Zeke
Right
is
there.
a better running back. He's a better. He's an overall well-rounded back. Better than Christian McCaffrey. Better than Zeke catches the ball better than anybody out of the backfield.
Okay,
Better than Saquon, better than Gurley, better than Frank Gore and Christian McCaffrey.
how about Alvin Kamara?
Look,
He
8
catches the
times
ball
out of
better than
10,
Alvin Kamara.
yes, 8 times out of 10, you get Zeke out on the screen. Every time you're looking for that home run. Every time.
Because that's the only
Oh,
home run
my.
that the Cowboys have is a screenplay because Dak Prescott can't get the ball more than 10 yards down on the field.
I agree with that. And I agree with that. And if we had a better quarterback who can actually push the ball downfield, I think Zeke would be even more dangerous. Because think about this, right? Here's the formula to stop the Dallas Cowboys offense. Stack the box. If you can stop Zeke, you can stop the Cowboys, right? We've
Right.
seen that. I saw that all last year. If you can stack the box, stop Zeke, put the pressure on Dak to go out and win the game, it's not going to happen.
We saw that in the first 4 games, 28-18 when Zeke was suspended for those couple games. So,
Exactly.
but I'm telling you, Saquon Barkley had the box stacked on him every game his rookie year and last year, and he still is better than Zeke.
No.
You know who
Numbers
the
don't lie.
quarterback when Saquon Barkley was a rookie? Eli Manning.
Eli Manning, Mr. Interception. But I mean, it's still Eli Manning. I would still take that Eli Manning over Dak Prescott.
What?
Yes, 100%.
What?
Yes.
You realize Eli Manning is a 1-for-1 touchdown to interception ratio, right? He has like 84 touchdowns and 84 interceptions or something like that.
What was Eli Manning's line that year?
I don't know.
Exactly. What
So
was
you're
Dallas
telling me-
Cowboys line that year? What was Dallas Cowboys line that year?
They probably had the best offensive line ever. That particular year, you're a couple.
You just
Right.
proved my point.
You
You put Eli Manning behind the Dallas Cowboys line. And you're telling me Eli Manning isn't Eli Manning isn't like Eli Manning was running for his life and he was throwing balls that should have not been thrown because he was trying
But
to make
he
shit
still
happen.
threw them. That's just the point. He knew he's
But
not
he was
supposed
trying to
to.
make shit happen. All right.
Let's go ahead and get back to Zeke here. I understand you are a huge Cowboys fan. You bleed blue. Okay.
Yes.
Saquon Barkley is better than Zeke.
Oh
McCaffrey
my
is
God.
better than Zeke.
Jameson, Chubb is not a better back than
Let me
Zeke.
go ahead.
Calm
You know,
down. Calm down.
I
Calm
do
down
like
with
his
that.
number one. Barkley, yes. McCaffrey, yes. Chubb, I would say they're about even. You put Chubb on the Cowboys, I bet you he's better than like Zeke as well. Okay?
No, hell no.
Le'Veon
Hell
Bell,
no.
Le'Veon Bell, I think he is over the hill. He has that big money deal syndrome that like he had. So he is no longer going to be the Le'Veon Bell that we knew in Pittsburgh.
Le'Veon Bell had one or two good seasons, and then all of a sudden he was, oh, Le'Veon Bell. Zeke has had good seasons ever since he was a rookie. Even when he was suspended for 4 games, he still almost
He's
took
still
the rushing
almost.
title.
Hey, I almost won the lottery too, right?
Games. Yeah, but he was gone for 4 games. So put those 4 games in. Is he the rushing? Does he own the rushing title that year?
So I don't. That is tough saying because I forget what 4 games that he missed, but I think it was in the middle of the season, if I'm not mistaken, because they fought it to like week 8. So he's been like week 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Zeke was probably sore. He was not 100%. The Cowboys were in the meat of their schedule, and I don't think he would have averaged over 50 yards a game in those couple games. I'm just saying.
Max, Zeke is the best running back in the league, right? See, even my son knows.
You know who else is better than like Zeke? How about the worst cut that Kansas City Chiefs have ever made, Kareem Hunt?
Oh my God! Now you're reaching.
I'm not reaching. You put Kareem Hunt on the Dallas Cowboys, best running back in the league. You put Kareem Hunt back on the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs win 5 Super Bowls in a row.
Max, who's the best team? The Dallas Cowboys? Yeah.
Hey, you cannot force feed your son answers like that. Let him answer for himself. He was going to say the Kansas City Chiefs because we all know that is who the best team in the NFL is.
You know who his favorite team is, though? Honestly,
Houston Texans.
Yeah, no, it's the Longhorns. He loves the Longhorns.
Yeah,
I take him to the games. Man, he goes crazy at the Longhorn. He loves Ellinger, loves Sam.
Do you think Sam's a senior this year, right?
Yeah, Sam will be a senior this year.
Do you think he goes to the NFL?
No, man. I think he's another Colt McCoy when he goes into the NFL.
But he still makes it, and you get a chance to root for him in the NFL, at least for the preseason games and stuff like that. But hey, he could be like my man Byron Pringle from Kansas State. He was a 5th or 6th round pick, wasn't even a number 1 receiver on his team for K-State through those 4 years. But he is on the Kansas City Chiefs, making some plays here or there. Every time he's in there, I scream my ass off for him.
Hey, I just wanna put it out there right now. This guy right here, this is the next Leighton Vander Esch. Right here. He loves to hit people.
There we go, baby.
People. Yeah.
Keep your head up and wrap up, kid. But as always, guys, this is Michael Buckeister with Just for Clicks. And always, guys, thanks for joining us. Join us tomorrow. Talk some more NFL. Heck, we might even talk some Major League Baseball. You never really know. Catch us tomorrow, guys. Same time, same place. Have a good night.
Bye.